to the Prophecy Club. Today we're going to be talking about my new book, Miss the Mark. And this is really important that you get. You see, if my objective is to try to make money, I certainly wouldn't have been pricing our books the way I've been pricing them. My objective is to try to keep as many people out of eternal torment, the Bible calls it perdition, where they are tortured, or tormented is the correct word, with the beast, the false prophet, and Lucifer for all eternity with no hope to escape. I've talked about that a lot, so we'll go on to the next thing. So I'm going to do something else that if I was trying to make money, this would not be the thing to do. I'm actually going to read from some of the pages from my book. This is from chapter 5, and I'm about to reveal to you part of the 9 deceptions. Now, let me just tell you how this came about. Back in, I'm going to say it was like 1994, 95, there was this guy whom I'm not going to tell you anything about him, his name or anything, but he was like the hottest thing in radio. I mean, everybody was having this guy on all of their programs. And he was talking about how he had discovered the 9 deceptions of the Antichrist. And everybody was interviewing this guy. And when I started writing this book, again, you have to understand it wasn't my idea to write the book. The Lord gave Leslie a dream in the night and showed her what the cover should look like and gave her the name of the book. And he had already spoken to me that, he'd laid on my heart some things to begin to talk about. But having just finished the one book, The Secret to Understand Bible Prophecy, frankly, I was not real excited about writing another book, but I'm very, very, very glad I did, and thank him on a regular basis for giving me this book. But anyway, all of a sudden, this guy just disappears. Nobody can find him. His body was never found, and we assume he's dead because he just disappeared. My guess is that he really had got some inside scoop on the devil's plans. And when I started writing this book, this guy's name, and it's actually it's a foreign name. It's difficult to even pronounce, much less to remember the pronunciation, the spelling, and everything of this guy. So I Googled it, and there was only one audio, and it was not even audio, it was the transcription of a radio program that he did back in the mid-1990s. And sure enough, there it was. And he was talking about all of these archaeological, that's one of them. He's talking about these 9 deceptions. The archaeology deceptions one we're about to talk about. Now, you have to understand when the Bible says, and he causeth all, both small and great, rich and poor, free and bond, receive a mark in the right hand or in their forehead, and that no man might buy or sell save he had the mark, or the name of the beast, or the number of his name. Here's wisdom. Let him that hath understanding count the number of the beast, for it is the number of a man, and his number is 666. You have to understand that the very first part of that is he causeth. So if there really was a rapture, who would be taken out? And the answer would be, all of the good people, all of the Christians, all of the believers. So if they were the ones taken out, then who would that leave? That would leave the people that did not believe. Okay, so who would the Antichrist, the beast, which really is the correct way to call him, is the beast, who would the beast have to force? It says, and he causeth all, both small and great, rich and poor. In other words, he causes them, he forces them. So if there's a pre-trib rapture, all of the good people are taken out, who would the beast have to force? The answer is no one. Why? Because the Christians are not taken out. See, the definition of overcomer I'm not reading yet, the definition of overcomer in the New Testament is simply receiving Jesus, and it's overcoming the world. However, when you read Revelation, that is not the definition of overcomer according to Revelation. That doesn't say it in so many words, but here's what it says. Basically, the definition according to Revelation, if you want the blessings of the overcomer, in other words, he that overcometh, I will make a pillar in the temple of my God, he shall go no more out. I'll write upon him the name of God, my God, the name of the city of my God, which is New Jerusalem, which cometh down out of heaven, and I'll write upon him my new name. If you want all of those overcomer blessings, here's the qualification. A, you have to see the mark of the beast, you have to hear his message, and you have to refuse it. See, that's what he's saying. In other words, you have to be an overcomer. Overcome what? Overcome the beast. Now, that's not going to be so easy. So the beast is going to show up, and he's going to do everything he possibly can against the church, against the believers, because his target is the believers. His target is the very people that if there were, and there's not, but if there were a pre-trib rapture, those are the people he's after. Because he knows if he gets the Christians, all the rest of them are easy. He's already got them. They're already in his camp. So he's going after the ones that believe in Jesus. In other words, brothers and sisters, in that you are listening to this broadcast, he's coming after you. And I'm about to give you the 9 deceptions. I can't obviously get them all in this one broadcast, which is why I'm going to have to tell you, you're going to have to get the book. But in the case of this book, you don't want to just get the book for you. You want to get this book into as many hands as possible, which is why we're making it such an amazing deal. I mean, 1 for 20, 10 for 25. Yeah, in other words, I want you to get 10 copies. Why? I want you to hand 9 of them away. 10 for 25, 2 for 40, and 4 sets of 10 for 60. That's $1.50 a book. Now, I don't have to tell you, that's that's pretty close to our cost. Why? Why would I do that? It's not about making money. It's about winning souls, which, by the way, I might, let me tell you a little goof I made. So I thought I was ordering 10,000, but only 5,000 showed up. And when only 5,000 showed up, I called them and said, hey, you send in the other half? And I made a mistake. And it was my handwriting. There's no question. I signed the thing, and I even circled 5,000, but I was thinking I ordered 10,000, so now we're almost out of them again. So if you want Miss the Mark, I suggest you order it quickly, which, by the way, if God has blessed you, man, I could sure use, what I really need to order is about 10,000. And obviously, I've kind of already told you our cost on the book anyway, so if I'm going to order 10,000, I don't have to tell you that I need another $10,000. And also, I can probably tell you, also, I don't have $10,000. So if God has blessed you and you could help us, man, oh man, if I could just get a $10,000 donation or something up in that ballpark, I could just go around and I could go ahead and order another 10,000 of these, so we've got plenty of them. But then, of course, I've also got to say, well, we need probably another 6,000 because we need to order some of Leslie's book, What It Takes to Be a Prophet. It's she just told me it's going to be ready by the end of this week, ready to go to the printer, and also the Crusade manual for her School of the Prophets. Both of those are supposed to be ready to go to the printer by the end of this week, and I don't have, well, I guess I probably need in the ballpark of 16, 17, just off the top of my head, somewhere in that ballpark, 16, 17, $18,000 to do all of that printing. So if you believe in what we're doing, God has blessed you, you can help us to some degree or with all of it or half of it or whatever you can help. Now would be a wonderful time because we need to get these in, we can get them printed, because we're going to be using them at the upcoming crusade. All right, so listen, I did not intend to take so long for the introduction today. And my plan is, at least, for the next several broadcasts, is to read through some of these deceptions. And I can tell you right up front, several of these deceptions will sound okay, very plausible. But you have to understand, he's not going to be hitting you with 1 or 2. He's going to hit you with 9 deceptions back to back to back to back like a machine gun. And I'm going to say, if you're listening to my voice right now, there's probably a good possibility that you will have the opportunity to deny Christ. You will have the opportunity to take the mark of the beast in your lifetime. So it's extremely important that you know these 9 deceptions. So let's get into it. Chapter 5, page 23, the 9 great deceptions in history. Remember, the devil has been around since before mankind was created, and he is exceedingly cunning, intelligent, far beyond humans, and he has the most well-designed plan of deception, so good, and it is designed to trick almost everyone on the earth into worshiping, especially the Christian. The following are only a few of his tactics to avoid. He may use more, but be aware of them. Don't be surprised. Expect them. Don't fall for these great deceptions. I first heard about them from a man I interviewed on the radio back in the early 1990s. He was speaking everywhere. Then he just disappeared from radio shows, interviews, every place. The next day he was just gone, poof. They never found his body, as I said. So, what I'm revealing to you is really serious. I know it is true. Not because the man was killed or not because he was speaking out on it. I know it because once I found them, I was able to verify them, and guess what? All 9 of them were actually prophesied in the Bible prophecies anyway. But some of them you wouldn't see until he explained it the way he explained it. So when I started writing this book, the secrets that the man revealed came back to me. In my opinion, it was the Lord hinting to include them into this book. Most of these deceptions are revealed in the prophecies, although veiled. Those not in prophecies are in today's news. So I've changed the wording on these deceptions so that they will not be linked back to him, but they're all in the prophecies. Now, he made several points that I would not have seen, true, but the Lord has given it to us because I believe we are the last generation. First deception, the archaeology deception. Picture the fake news, such as CNN, the source of course, all truth on earth. Not. So CNN comes on. They announce a great earthquake has hit the earth. And there is a great discovery that has been made. They discovered a great underground cavern, a chamber, has been discovered. And in this chamber, they found these tablets. And we found this and this ancient thing and that ancient artifact, all in this box. And wow, and here, this is what we found. And ta-da! The tablets say all of the Muslims were lied to. The Satanists were lied to. The Hindus, the Christians, all of those other religions, they were all lied to. And here we have it. Here's proof. You have to understand, the devil placed it there a long time ago and has arranged for this day. He's not worried about the other religions. He's coming after you, my brothers and sisters. So much so that if it were possible, it would deceive even the very elect. So, the first thing we have to expect is that when these earthquakes, the Bible has prophesied, when they begin to happen, and when they reveal these new discoveries, we're going to say, I knew it was coming. We're already going to be expecting it, you see. We're going to expect to hear, well, we've all been mistaken. We all misunderstood. We didn't have all the information. Don't be fooled. We're going to expect that. We're going to expect a wonderful plan, so good that probably 95% of the humans on the planet will accept it as proof beyond any reasonable doubt, saying all of these other past beliefs and laws, they were all based upon inaccurate or missing information. The news is going to report a great discovery of the greatest information so convincing, the earth and those that dwell on it shall worship the beast. That's right out of Revelation. Expect the new society to correct, quote, old errors with, quote, new revelations from the one true God, quote, new laws and standards, so that the world can finally live in peace, just like Daniel says, and by peace he shall destroy many. Now, that's only a brief overview. There's more. But let's jump now to talk about the Ark of the Covenant. See, because everything, remember August 8th, 2015, the Lord spoke to me and said, this is the time of miracles. Then he downloaded to me, as the judgment hits, so will my miracles. Then he said that he is going to meet the devil step by step, inch for inch, pound for pound. Everything the devil does, God is going to meet him. And he's going to be with us. Well, so when he comes out with this fantastic archaeological discovery, guess what? God has also placed some fantastic archaeological discoveries that is going to prove his word is real. Here we go. From 1989 to 1999, I was involved with the Full Gospel Businessmen's Fellowship, a wonderful organization who helped me to discover many wonderful gifts and blessings in the Lord. And to this day, I'm very thankful for this divine organization. Our chapter had invited Ron White to speak in Omaha, Nebraska. At the speaking engagement, Ron showed a 90-minute video called Presentation of Discoveries, which, by the way, is still available at whitemuseum.com. Shop presentation, several places. It gives the location. Ron White's presentation displayed the evidences of Noah's Ark, Sodom and Gomorrah, the Red Sea crossing, Mount Sinai, the Ark of the Covenant, the complete overview of the discoveries, ideal for sharing with groups. Now, that was back in 1991. And in 1991, I received an invitation, one of his newsletters, for people to go on tour, to go out and see these amazing discoveries. And I knew I didn't have the money. Oh, I remember it specifically, still to this day. It was like, I think, $3,500 or something like that to go on this. I thought, I don't have that kind of money. But I knew I had to go. So I walked into the bathroom where Leslie was fixing her hair, and I said, I'm going on this tour. Leslie took one quick glance at that. She threw it down. She says, I'm going too. I said, honey, I don't even know if we can come up with money for me to go, much less. She said, I'm going. Well, would you believe? Our God arranged for the 7,000 some odd dollars plus the extra money for, I think we took $1,000 spending money with us. He arranged it all. He increased my sales so I'd have the money. And by the way, if you are listening right now, God is calling you to be at this Sevenfold Miracle Crusade, and here's what you do. You do the same thing we did. We prayed. We said, Lord, I want to go. I ask you to send the money. Sure enough, he sent the money. Same thing can happen to you. Now, when I went there, it arranged, just so happened, God had provided me with a very nice VCR. In those days, a VCR was as good as they had. Today, the cameras are much better. But he arranged for me to get a VCR recorder as a Christmas gift, which in those days was actually very expensive. Well, I wanted to make certain that I caught every minute of what Ron White said on this tour. So I went down to the camera store. They had camera stores in those days. And I purchased about 15 high-quality VHS tapes, the best the camera shop had. At the time, I thought, well, this is all just for my personal interest. I never dreamed that that video would be seen by so many people. So the videos of the tour have been now edited down to 1 2-hour DVD, and yes, it's available at prophecyclub.com or instantly viewable online at watchprophecyclub.com, and it's called Archaeology Confirms the Bible. Amazing stuff in that video. The short version of the tour is this. We went to what I believe is the real Noah's Ark. The real one, the one that Noah and all the animals got in, the real one. We walked all over it. As a matter of fact, I even brought back a piece of what I unofficially believe is actually petrified wood. We saw its anchor stones, Gomorrah, the rock that Moses struck, the giant bones of pre-flood people, the crossing side of the Red Sea, and archaeological evidence at the garden tomb of Jesus at Golgotha. If you like the facts, this video is a great show in churches and homes. But the most important part of the tour was the information about the Ark of the Covenant. When the world sees the information regarding the Ark of the Covenant, it will prove beyond any reasonable doubt that this is the genuine Ark of the Covenant. This is proving that the Bible is true when the world can see for themselves the hard evidence of 3 cross holes, the 3 signs just above those cross holes, the crack when the rocks were rent, and how the blood flowed down the crack, and how the blood dropped on the stone cover of the ark, which the cover then cracked open, allowing the blood to drip through the lid that was covering the Ark of the Covenant, and the blood dropped upon the, listen to this, the west side of the Ark of the Covenant. When they see that, there will be no doubt that the blood of the sacrificed lambs was dripped on the east side, and the blood of Jesus was dropped on the west side of the Ark of the Covenant. Now, I have to understand, the Ark of the Covenant is basically a golden covered chair. It's the throne of God. Leviticus 16:14 says, "And he should take of the blood of the bullock, and sprinkle it with his finger upon the mercy seat," listen to this, "eastward. And before the mercy seat he shall sprinkle it of the blood with his finger 7 times. Remember, the Ark of the Covenant is a large chair made of wood overlaid with gold. It is the throne of God on earth. The seat of the Ark is called the mercy seat. Ron said he took a small scraping of the dried blood on the west side of the mercy seat. He then took it to a scientific laboratory, I believe it was Galbraith Laboratories, requesting the blood to be reconstituted, which means they added distilled water to it. He then asked them to tell me, what is this substance? And that's all he would tell them, refusing to tell them anything else. With all the evidence gathered by the scientists, they told Ron that it was human blood. But they were startled when they saw that the somatids were still alive. See, the blood of Jesus, even though it's over 2,000 years old now, was still alive. Well, why wouldn't it be? Jesus has the keys of hell and death. He said, "No one takes my life. I lay it down to redeem all." So then they looked at it under a very powerful microscope to discover that this blood had only one set of chromosomes. Now, as you recall, all human blood has 23 chromosomes from the father and 23 from the mother, and then an X or a Y chromosome to determine either male or female. But this blood only had one set of chromosomes. This proves, beyond any shadow of a doubt, that Jesus literally was the Son of God. Ron said that one time, when he was doing some work in the chamber where the ark was located, an angel appeared and told him that when the beast comes out with his secular, quote, 10 commandments, and or requires people to take the mark of the beast, the discovery of the Ark of the Covenant will be revealed to the world to show them the truth. Now, let me pause from reading for a second. What he's saying, as the beast comes out with these deceptions, God is going to come out with proof to the contrary every single time. But as I go through these, well, let's put it this way. There's 250 people in Evansville to a conference where I taught through part of this. I just went through the first 4 deceptions. Just the first 4 of the 9. I wish you could have seen the look on their faces. This is a group of prophecy students. These are people that listen to the radio all the time. These are the people that had already, before they walked in, they had already set their jaw. They had already made their decision. Why, never, never, never will I take the mark of the beast. But when I went through these deceptions, their eyes were big as silver dollars. I remember seeing so many of the mouths just drop open, just fall open. They were shocked. I'm going to even say they were scared to think that such a perfect deception, so perfect, so well thought out, so well organized, and would hit the earth back to back to back to back. And I haven't even gotten to the other ones. Today, brothers and sisters, I only covered part of one of the deceptions. You have to understand that the beast is coming after you. He wants you to fall. He wants to, when the rains come and the winds blow, he wants your house to fall. He wants your belief to fall. He wants you to take that mark. He wants you to bend the knee and say he is Lord. And he's going to make it really easy to say yes and almost impossible to say no. That's the reason the overcomers get such big and powerful blessings. Now, That's the reason you need this book. No. I know what you're thinking. Yeah, well, I'll give it away to the. Yes, you do. You want to give it away to the people. But if you want to keep your salvation, oh, come on, Stan. Aren't you getting a little? That's just too much. I'm going to say it. If you want to keep your salvation, then you need to be prepared for these deceptions. Not only you, but your family, your friends around. You need to be able to say, there it is. I knew that was coming. You did not. Yeah. It's talked about in this book. Here, read it. I'm saying this book could save your salvation. This book could save the salvation of your family. That's the reason I believe God gave it to me. That's the reason I'm selling it for almost the cost of the book. Which, by the way, if you could help us to print some more of them, that would be really nice. But I'm saying this is serious. This is not a joke. We're the last generation. In the next few years, we're going to be hit with the fall of America. We're going to be hit with world government. When the world government is formed, and only after the world government is formed, the beast is going to come on the scene. He's going to look good. He's going to sound good. He's going to be everything most people have wanted in their Savior. And if you aren't prepared, well, if it were possible, even the very elect could fall. That's the reason you need to get this book. You need to get it for you. You need to get several extras for your friends. I'm saying if they will read this book, and it's short, you'll see when you get it, because we want you, when you hand it to someone, you want them to say, oh, well, that's a skinny little book. I can get through that real easy. Yeah. Matter of fact, you can read the book probably 3 hours. That's the point of it. Because if they'll read through it, if they'll give it 3 hours, they'll never take that mark. They read this book, I'm going to say this, anybody reads this book, they'll never take it. They'll spot it. They'll spot it coming a mile away. They'll smell it in the wind, and they'll run from it. They'll give their life, but they won't take that mark. They won't take that mark. I'm going to have to say this is probably one of the most important books outside the Bible. Not because it's going to win so many souls, though it will, because it's going to save so many souls from being tossed into the lake of fire and brimstone, where they're tormented in perdition for all eternity with no hope of escape. 1 for $20. Don't do that, though. We offer them in sets so shrink-wrapped 10. 1 set, $25. 2 sets, $40. 4 sets, $60 at prophecyclub.com. Miss the Mark, prophecyclub.com. When you go there, also order Secret Door to Understand Bible Prophecy. 1 for $20, again, don't do that. 5 for $30, 10 for $55. And in each one of these books, the back side is actually the charts. One chart is the chart linking the feasts to the prophecies of Revelation. The other chart is the seals, trumpets, and vials all laid out. So even if they read through, miss the mark, they're going to have to say, what are these charts? Right on the charts, it says, to understand the charts, you got to get the other book. Why? Because we want them to understand that. And probably once they read the Miss the Mark, they're going to have to read the Secret Door too. Go to sevenfoldmiraclecrusades.com. You are being called of God to be ready to teach prophecy, ready to give an answer, and to be able to walk and work in sevenfold miracles. Brothers and sisters, that newspaper headline come out that says Omer ushers in Palestinian state, and I can tell you right now, Leslie is about to be the hottest prophet on the planet. I believe she's going to get so many speaking engagements from left and right, all these churches. But that's what God told me. June 14th, 2008, I heard the audible voice of God speak in the night, and he said, when those prophecies I gave your wife begin to come to pass, people from all directions will begin to turn and listen to your ministry. God gave that prophecy to Leslie to shine a light on Leslie, and also, I believe, to shine a light on Dimitri Duduman's message. SevenfoldMiracleCrusades.com or ProphecyClub.com for the books.